Well, we'll follow those. Now to the speaker battle. Paul Ryan is adamant he wants a unified caucus if he is to serve as speaker. The Washington Post quotes him telling colleagues last night, "I'm willing to take arrows in the chest, but not in the back." Let's bring in Deputy Majority Whip Congressman Tom Cole. Tom, what do you make of his, I personally loved the way one of his 5 requirements was family time. And I hope we get to a day where a woman can step up and say that too, without it being an issue. But, so thank you, Paul Ryan, to that. But he really wants a lot before Friday to make this happen. What do you make of him so publicly making these demands?
Look, I think he's being very honest with people about what the challenges of the job are and what it takes to actually succeed in the job. And it's not that we don't have differences in our caucus. That's fine. You're always going to have, particularly in one this large. And we should have vigorous debates about where to go. But when we're on the floor, we need to act as a team. And I think that was basically the point he was making. But again, you have to think to that position. You have to give everybody a chance to be part of that team and to voice their opinion.
So is he going to get the support he needs by Friday?
I think he will. The real question here is really next week. I think, look, he'll literally have 200 or more members of a 247-member conference. And I would expect, again, he'll have to go through an election process. You're not going to get coronated around here for anything. But then next week when we're on the floor, will everybody feel comfortable with the decision that the conference made and then, you know, pretty much vote for him there? Because the Democrats certainly aren't going to and shouldn't be required to. Obviously, they're going to have their own candidate for Speaker.
Harold.
Tom, Harold Ford, good morning. One question that's been raised around the table is, let's say that the Republican caucus or the conference accepts the conditions before Friday and Paul becomes Speaker. What would stop that group of Freedom Caucus members and others from reneging on this promise a month from now, 2 months, 4 months from now, and Paul being faced with some of the challenges or concerns he raised manifest themselves?
Well, I think it's okay to challenge even a sitting speaker. It depends on how you do it. Now, we always have a mechanism that if 50 members want to call a conference and hold a vote on anybody, they can do it. You just sign a letter to the conference chair. The conference happens. The real question is, do you continue that onto the floor of the House? And I just think that's generally an inappropriate thing to do. Years ago, when I was in the Oklahoma legislature, I watched a Democratic fight of this sort on the floor in the Oklahoma House, where literally a minority of a conference took over the majority by using the opposition. So I think you know, what Paul's pointing out is we just have to operate by regular order, and regular order means on the floor on procedural matters you work as a team.
Mike Barnacle.
Congressman Cole, I have a pretty basic question for you. The Freedom Caucus, why are they so permanently pissed off?
Well, I think a lot of the country is permanently pissed off, to use your phrase. So I think in that sense they actually represent what a lot of folks think. And that's constructive. That's not a bad thing. Really, my complaint around here is there's ways to do things that actually do work. And if you follow them and work through the process, you'll get to the result that you want. But look, there's been a lot of times when I think we haven't operated by regular order. When as an appropriator, I would tell you, I want my bills to go to the floor. I want every member to have an opportunity to offer their amendment, and I want a good up or down vote on them after that thorough debate. So if this pushes us towards that, and I think that's the intent of a lot of members of the Freedom Caucus, that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Congressman Tom Cole, always great to have you on the show. Thank you very much for being on. All right, joining us now, historian and